Greetings, family. Welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. If you are new to this channel or podcast, then please subscribe and share our content with your friends. This will help grow our audience. I provide a written transcript in the group with the same name on Facebook for those of you who don't speak English. I also cite all of my sources under Show and Prove section. You can find all of my work under the About section on my YouTube channel, and then scroll down to Medium. I use this platform to interact with everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social groups by giving black business owners free airtime to promote their products and services. I give people in the faith community an opportunity to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, and ordinary law-abiding citizens an opportunity to share their special talents and skills to my listeners from the podcast community. After the show, I offer my guest speakers an incentive by teaching them how to create their own podcast and YouTube channel to help them earn extra revenue during COVID-19. I also assist people on my friends list with creating basic websites, finding college scholarships and grants, housing, and legal services, all for free. Our goal this year is to raise $500,000 for our film projects. Hood Liberator Made in Chicago, the war against Willie Lynch begins. First, I would like to thank those of you who have donated to our film project. I encourage people from my friends list and people in my social groups who want to be a part of our film project to please send me your email address to my Facebook inbox. We will hold a private conference through Google Meetings to discuss the best methods of reaching others via social media, people from their friends list, donors, and local businesses. GRCAM Chicago, the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, mission is to help eradicate urban violence in Chicago through our programs and services. Our objective is to build a bridge between the diaspora and continental Africans through art, culture, and commerce. GRCAM Chicago will be in the business of creating docudramas, short films, theater, photography, fine arts, music, poetry, literature, sculpture, dance, and spiritual development for inner city youth and their families. Once this virus is cleaned up, we plan on launching African tours in order for us to move from behind the computer and make real connections with our global black family on the continent, starting in South Africa. I created GRCAM, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement, because I got tired of all of the division among black people. I created GRCAM in 1991 on a site called Gopher. I wanted to create an organization that focused specifically on solving black issues in America. I wanted to connect with other like-minded African Americans, Afro-Brazilians, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Europeans, African immigrants, and Afro-Latinos throughout the diaspora. This is a podcast where we talk about solving black issues / African issues using a spiritual perspective as it pertains to the great awakening of our people that has been prophesied. Our objective is to get our film project fully funded and play it by ear during COVID-19. Once this virus is cleaned up, then we will shoot our film and promote our film in selected movie theaters and sell our DVDs. Together, we will put GRCAM on the map and turn my vision for Black America into reality. In 2021 and beyond, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement will be promoting a policy of global black unity, ownership, and community support. Our objective is to be in a place where we own everything we consume and we support one another. we're reaching out to our group members and listeners and would like to encourage them to support our film project in 3 ways. Through our virtual store, GRCAM merchandise such as COVID masks, coffee mugs, posters, handbags, and t-shirts. All proceeds will go towards our film project. 2, through our nonprofit organization, GRCAM of Chicago. PayPal page. Donations can be used as a tax write-off because this is a legitimate 501c3. All donations are tax deductible to the fullest extent of the law. 3, you can support us by purchasing my revised book on my Amazon author page. Keep in mind, community support is where we have to go, and please understand, when you're supporting our YouTube channel or our podcast, you're supporting an independent black network which will eventually employ black people in our films, stage plays, and in our actual business. I need African entrepreneurs, especially in South Africa, to come on the show and promote your businesses and ministries to the diaspora and vice versa. Instructions on participating on the show. First, watch my video podcast. This is called Side A. After I finish my presentation, then I will open up the phone lines through Facebook Messenger. This is called Side B. You can interact with me in real time either as a voice call by clicking on the phone icon or a video call by clicking on the camera icon. With that being said, today's topic, Pan-Africanism versus GRCAM. Before I go into my presentation, I need to be clear on one thing. I am not creating these video podcasts for my health. Every Thursday, I will try to present topics in order to get black people, African people on my friends list and in my social groups to talk with me in real time about the topics I am putting forth through Facebook Messenger. So far, we have raised $900 for our film project. I don't know how long this is going to take. I have done all I can on my end. It takes a team to make a dream work. The only thing which is preventing me from turning my virtual Christian socialist organization, GRCAM, the grassroots community activist movement, into a real black Christian business, GRCAM of Chicago. The Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago is the lack of manpower and the capital. This is why I turn to social media to get my message out to the public through my YouTube videos, my social groups, my blog postings, my online talk show, my revised book, and now through my future urban Christian film, Hood Liberator Made in Chicago. The war against Willie Lynch begins. This is my last attempt to try to do something positive for my racial group in America. The best way to support our film project is by sharing my video podcasts, purchasing my ebook on my author page on Amazon for $9.99, or you can get the softcover for $15 plus shipping and handling. Or you can give a donation through our PayPal page. You can also buy our products from our virtual store. You can find all of my pages on my YouTube channel under About section. Those of you who work with me and Sister Renee will go down in history with us. Going back to the topic, Pan-Africanism versus GRCAM. Today I will be discussing a very controversial topic among black people and African people. I may lose friends, oh well. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to recruit brave and smart black people and African people from around the globe to come forth and work with me and Sister Renee in turning my ideas into reality. The difference between African diaspora and continental Africans. Continental Africans were colonized. Europeans traveled to your land and imposed their laws, culture, and replaced your economy with theirs. Those who were colonized know their language and culture. The oppressor came to take your land like they did in Australia, North America, Latin America, and Africa. Here is an analogy. A group of people breaks into your home with guns drawn on you and your family. You are unarmed and you are forced to do whatever they tell you in order to survive. You experienced this for many of years. Now you have developed a colonized mentality. When black immigrants from Africa and the Caribbean arrived in the United States, many of you looked down on black Americans because of the negative images from the mainstream media. Again, that's propaganda and stereotypes. Some of it is true, but a majority of it is just a stereotype. In contrast, black Americans or African Americans were stripped of our language, culture, and religion. We have been living under a brutal system called white supremacy, and we have been fighting that for 400 years. No one from Africa or the Caribbean could have come here without the help of African Americans or black Americans, because we fought and died for our freedom in the United States. I need for my brothers and sisters from Africa and the Caribbean to understand the difference. We have different experience. That's one reason why we don't understand each other. I have been reaching out to Black America online and offline for 29 years, and still I have very few black people willing to work with me because of this Willie Lynch mentality. Many of them would rather see me fail at trying to improve the lives of black people. My revised book has been on Amazon for 9 years, yet it is still not on the bestsellers list. Not because of white people, but because many of our people just don't like to read, and this is why I have to turn my story into a film in order to reach the global black family. I guarantee you, once I start making big money, everyone will come out of the woodwork and play like they want to be a part of this new organization in Black America. Mark my words. When we talk about reparation, it's always a problem. Notice, the Civil Rights Act is not a law. It has to be ratified every 25 years. Now the financial elites are trying to attach the Equality Act, which is the LGBT community, to the bill we fought and died for. I'm tired of other groups trying to piggyback off our struggle. No other groups in America were slaves. No one is complaining about the billions of dollars going to Native Americans every year. It's only a problem when black Americans demand reparations for what we have endured. We helped build this country. I encourage black Americans to ask your local politicians, why is Native Americans receiving billions of dollars from the government every year, but black Americans can't get reparations? American descendants of slaves, ADOS, is a term used toward identifying a specific group of black people who are descendants of American slavery. It's colonial period onwards. The term was created by Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore. The ADOS movement has put reparations back on the table during the 2020 election. ADOS is only pushing for reparations for black Americans, not for black immigrants from Africa or the Caribbean. Ice Cube contract with Black America has also helped get the ball rolling because he reached out to both Democrats and Republicans about the issues of reparations during the election. Tariq Nasheed created the term foundational Black Americans. Truth be told, ADOS and FBA have the same goals, just different names. I reached out to both groups, yet they have not responded to my requests. Black Americans are only 12% of the population, yet look at what we have accomplished as a group. Africans make up 90% of the population on the continent, but they tell us white people won't let them do what white people won't let them do in their own country. We as displaced Africans in America did not have any place to run to. We had no choice but to fight or die. Whereas the Pan-Africanism movement in Nigeria, the Congo, Ethiopia, Uganda, Rwanda, Sudan, and Chad. In the Caribbean, places like the Bahamas, Barbados, Haiti, Trinidad, and Jamaica. You all are coming here to the place where Black Americans, ADOS, have fought and died for our freedom, but we are being disrespected by many of you, and that's not cool at all. Truth be told, we are not getting any benefits from Africa. For example, in Gambia, Black Americans, ADOS, are told we have to wait 15 years in order to become citizens. Where is our seat at the African Union? There is no African demanding a DACA plan for Black Americans, ADOS in Africa. The lack of sacrifice from Black immigrants is a big problem. I am not from South Africa, but I am against apartheid, and I am for land without compensation for African people in order to correct the greatest human atrocity in the history of humanity. We support Black immigrants coming to America. All of a sudden, when Black Americans, adults, push for reparations only for our group, Black immigrants become hostile. We are looked upon as foreigners, not as displaced Africans. Those of us who are woke are trying to come back to our ancestral homeland, which is Africa. However, if you want us to support your rights on American soil, then you all have that the grassroots need to support our rights on African soil. This worked both ways. First, we had white supremacists who exploited our labor. Now we have Black immigrants who are coming over here trying to exploit us as well. The buck stops here. The grassroots community activist movement is changing the narrative from hope, change, and integration to Black empowerment and Black first. Africans abroad need to support Black Americans / adults. Many of us want dual citizenship. We want to set up chapters in 10 African nations that we will visit during our African visit or African tours. We want to work with African governments to help speed up citizenship process within five years or less in exchange for our talents and skills. We also want equal rights just like other African citizens. We want to invest in African countries on an equal basis and equal footing. Black American spending power as a collective is $1 trillion. Our investment will help improve the African economy. We want to have proper business development in order to address agricultural technology, creating alternative energy such as wind and solar, solving rolling blackouts and water filtration in West Africa. We want to learn the language and culture of each country. We make our presence known in. We would like to recommend a public holiday to commemorate our ancestors' journey. We want to be included in the African Constitution. Citizenship is not just about having a passport, it's about financial security. The Chinese are becoming the new colonizers. If black people and African people don't get it together by not unifying, if we lose Africa, we lose everything, and our children will end up paying the consequences. For example, I provide a video on my Medium page, which is the transcript for this speech. The video is entitled "Why Zambia is a Chinese Colony." You have Asian restaurants in Africa that is discriminating against Africans in their own country. What kind of sense does that make? You would never see an African restaurant discriminating against Chinese in China. It was Black Americans / ADOS from the Civil Rights era who inspired African leaders to push for their independence from colonial rule. Don't take my word for it, do the research. What is Pan-Africanism? Pan-Africanism is a global movement that aims to encourage and strengthen bonds of solidarity between all diaspora ethnic groups of African descent, based on a common goal dating back to the Atlantic slave trade. The movement extends beyond continental Africans with a substantial support base among the African diaspora in the Americas and Europe. Pan-Africanism can be said to have its origins in the struggle of the African people against enslavement and colonization, and this struggle may be traced back to the first resistance on slave ships, rebellions, and suicides. Based on the belief that unity is vital to economic, social, and political progress, and aims to unify and uplift people of African descent. At its core, Pan-Africanism is a belief that African people, both on the continent and in the diaspora, share not merely a common history but a common destiny. Pan-Africanism in intellectual, cultural, and political movements tend to view all Africans and descendants of Africans as belonging to a single race and or sharing cultural unity. Pan-Africanism posits a sense of a shared historic fate for Africans in America, West Indies, and on the continent. Pan-African thought influenced the establishment of the Organization of African Unity. Pan-Africanism stressed the needs for collective self-reliance. Pan-Africanism exists as a governmental and grassroots objective. The main Pan-African leaders were Dr. Kumi. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to say it. Robert Mugabe, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, and Nelson Mandela, just to name a few. Pan-Africanism believes that solidarity will enable the continent to fulfill its potential to independently provide for all its people. An all-African alliance would empower African people globally. Advocates of Pan-Africanists often champion socialist principles and tend to be opposed to external political and economic involvement on the continent. Pan-Africanism is about supporting all Africans for the good of Africans. Africans in Africa don't see themselves as black, they see themselves as members of a tribe. And so that's a problem. But we're worried about that down the road. Right now I'm just trying to focus on getting this film, fully funded and made. My next topic is called G7 countries. So G7 countries want to stop China from becoming a superpower. They want to challenge China by investing and building infrastructure in Africa. I provide the article on my Medium page under Show and Prove. The article is entitled Biden's Administration, G7, Biden press leaders to adopt a unified approach to counter China's rising influence, unquote. The financial elites recently held their G7 summit, which most of the G7 countries are European. This is not a group that includes everybody. There's no African nations, nor Latin American nations. Japan is the only non-European nation. The G7 include Canada, the United States, France, Germany, the UK, Belgium, Italy, Portuguese, and Spain. They were talking about China and how to counter China's influence in Africa. America is upping its rhetoric against China as it pertains to human rights, yet all of the human rights abuses against Black Americans are overlooked. The G7 wants to create a new scheme called the Green Belt Initiative to partner with green investment for developing countries to offer them a democratic alternative to China. The article talked about everything from financing, everything from railways in Africa to wind farms in Asia by giving developing countries access to better and faster finances while accelerating the global shift into renewable energy and sustainable technology. These Western powers are getting together, talking about doing a lot of infrastructure and investment in Africa to compete with China. The question is, why isn't the Biden administration not investing into the Black communities in America? China does not have the resources like Africa, nor does any of these Western nations have the natural resources that the African continent has. This is why it's very important that Black people, African people work together to put an end to the exploitation of our motherland by foreign powers. Remember, African brothers and sisters, it's the same G7 who have colonized you once before. They are France, Germany, the UK, Belgium, Italy, Portuguese, and Spain. The situation in American cities are getting more dangerous. For example, I read an article entitled Atlanta's Mayor Signing Orders to Make 100 All-Gender City Bathrooms, unquote. I provide the full article on my Medium page under Show and Prove. The financial elites don't care about putting investment projects in high crime areas. Instead, their focus is on having Black politicians spend resources for restrooms for all genders. Family, when you have Black leaders who are not in the pockets of the financial elites, they will act in your best interests. My thoughts about Juneteenth. I believe that Juneteenth deserves to be a holiday. Instead, it is being exploited by career politicians in order to give them fake gestures with us. Juneteenth has now been declared a federal holiday. While I have no problem with that, it seems like all of these career politicians are trying to do is use our history as a springboard for their political advancement. This is an effort to credentialize Sheila Jackson Lee and Kamala Harris. Sheila Jackson Lee helped put up the bill for Juneteenth, but won't put up an anti-Black hate crime bill for Black Americans, nor will she put up a reparation package for Black Americans. Juneteenth commemorates an atrocity that took place in Texas. It is worthy of a national holiday. The problem happens to be the people who are behind it. This was meant to pacify us and to credentialize a bunch of immigrants front persons. This is not meant to be a step towards reparations. We need to create institutions behind our culture. The Jewish community did not allow the LGBT community to latch on to their culture. The same thing with the Asian community. We have to put an end to this fast. Juneteenth is a black family holiday and about building a community once we came off those plantations. The grassroots community activist movement is about connecting with other like-minded black people, African people who want to help solve the problems within the black family and within the black community on a local, national, and international level. GRCAM offers a 21st century solution to an old problem. Unification begins with us. We welcome Hebrew Israelites, the Moors, Pan-Africanists, Nubians, moderate black Muslims, black Christians of all denominations, and secular people. We also welcome non-black sympathizers. But before we allow guests into our space, we as black people have to get our house in order first before allowing guests into our space. We have to stop allowing other groups to impose their agenda on us. My revised book is the foundation of my organization. All of my social groups, both Christian and secular, I plan on turning them into a real Christian business known as GRCAM Chicago. I don't care about how much money you have. We will raise the bar in Black America, Africa, the Caribbean, and Brazil. I do not associate with con artists, hardened criminals, active gang members, urban terrorists, nor pedophiles will be allowed in this organization. Everyone will be screened, must attend our mandatory orientation, subjected to a criminal background, and sign the community pledge, no exceptions. Also, we will develop thumb technology. I want to make sure everyone is doing their part. No freeloaders. Every member must contribute something to this organization. Since Black America has rejected my vision and plan for the past 29 years, my organization will be membership-based and private. This is how I get down. Once we come to Africa, GRCAM will become global Kemet, meaning land of the blacks. Africa belongs to melanated people. GRCAM Chicago will have 7 components. So a social service component, a spiritual component, which will be optional for secular people, an entertainment component, an entrepreneur component, a political component under our for-profit service-based business, and that's how I'm going to make my bread and butter. Health and wellness component, black media component. GRCAM, the grassroots community activist movement, will become a real black Christian business known as GRCAM Chicago, the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. Our objective is to link and develop black businesses through global trade, investment, and education between the Sub-Saharan Africa, the Caribbean, and Brazil, from urban satellite communities within the inner cities of America, starting in Chicago. With all the money and black people in Chicago, we don't own any facilities like this in Chicago. The purpose of GRCAM Chicago is to connect like-minded black people of African descent and business to educate black customers to buy from black-owned businesses. We want to strengthen the black companies, create jobs within the black community, create black businesses, and keep our dollars in our community. GRCAM Chicago aims to become the heart of the black community by strengthening the black family through our programs and services. We will offer quality amateur theater at a reasonable cost. We will do comedies, musicals, and dramas. GRCAM Chicago will also become a multinational community advocacy institute which will provide individual businesses, private and public institutions in 10 African nations, the Caribbean, and the United States, with a broad range of market lending, financial products and services. God of Chicago will strive to create the best outcomes for our members and communities. Our wide range of social responsibility causes towards improving access to education, driving community development, promoting the arts, and protecting the environment. We aim at reaching the forefront of promoting enterprise and empowering black businesses, as well as promoting Africa's fashion and food industries, and help them to expand in our urban satellite communities within the inner cities of America, which will create new jobs and global opportunities for African entrepreneurs and vice versa. The Chi of Chicago would like to connect African entrepreneurs with our urban satellite communities in America and vice versa. We want to connect African American business with our urban satellite communities in rural and urban African communities. We are in the 21st century ecosystem of economics. We must teach our youth about African businesses on a global scale. These African brands can be an anchor for businesses within the black communities in America. This will create employment and an economic base and change the dynamics of the community. Chi of Chicago visions is to become a platform for enriching the lives of our members by building strong black and African communities in which we operate. In line with this vision, we are constantly pioneering groundbreaking ideas that will offer our members digital platforms that connect customers to anything they need, from e-commerce to music, in one place. We will offer real estate services, digital marketing services, educational services, hotel and hospitality management. We will do what we do in America, we will replicate on the continent and in the Caribbean and Brazil. Chi of Chicago will also bring the culture of black entertainment along is a multi-billion-dollar industry. We also plan on bringing sports industries, which can draw billions of dollars to the African economy, which will break the yoke of economic manipulation. In Black America, our community is marked by degradation. In other words, you are in a black neighborhood when you see how waggly it is. We have to put an end to that fast. That's something the white supremacists created when they created redlining. When we let this hand-picked elected officials do all the work, then there comes the coonery. Family, it's up to us to take the lead at the grassroots level. Our so-called black leaders have sold us out. We on the grassroots level need to pool our resources and start being on code with one another. Owning and controlling our institutions is a priority. When we don't own and control our institutions, other people will step in, hijack our institutions, and remix them with their agenda. For example, I found an article by the New York Post which said, quote, Nina Simone's family blames Kamala Harris for taking away singer's estate. Nina Simone's granddaughter, Brianna Simone Kelly, put out a tweet stating that, quote, my family don't run our estate anymore. It was taken away from us and given to white people. Our family name was dragged in the media. We got no royalties, nothing. Want to hold someone accountable? Ask Kamala Harris why she came for my family, unquote. This is what happens when we don't control and own our work. I provide the full article on my Medium page. This film project is the most important project that we're going to be working on this year. I hope I can get this organization, I hope I can get this film fully funded and made this year. But if not, hey, at least I tried. I'm doing the best that I can. You know. And like I said, I'm gonna keep trying to keep doing these these film fundraising every Thursday, and I keep people posted. I encourage all of my Christian friends to come forth, pray, but also don't just pray, but faith without works is dead. Also donate, share my video, and help me get this video to put me on blast so that it can go viral. This is very important stuff, and this is why our people are being, taken advantage of by other groups, because they already know that black people, for some reason, we just don't work together. And I want to put an end to that. That's how come I'm trying to get this film made, so that way people can see my story. I can generate some capital from that, and then from there I can do all the things which I have written. But again, it takes capital. And I want to use my life experience, as an example for the black millennials as well as Generation Z. I want them to see what I went through. And I guarantee you, I want to make sure that none of my members will never have to go through this foolishness that I had to endure. Going on 30 years. But this is my calling. I want to see my people do better, not just the wealthy and well-doing celebrities. I want to see the average, hard-working black people, be able to live their dreams and be prosperous in life. But the financial elites, their goal is to not attack us individually, but they come in at us as a group. And they have the law on their side, because, after all, it's their system. The financial elites are the one that control, this world through their system. That's why the Lord has put it in my heart and mind for us to create our own system. But I have a very hard time trying to connect with our own people. Extremely hard. But this is why I'm doing my show. I'm trying to get my story out. I refuse to be ignored. And I'm going to try not to be petty, you know what I'm saying? But this has been a thorn in my flesh. And it's not cool at all. But again, my goal is to make sure I have a successful Christian business here in America. So when I go to Africa, I will not go to Africa empty-handed. I want to be able to bring tangibles to my members, especially active group members, people that has came on the show, people that has been posting, positive messages about my videos and stuff. All I got to do is look at that. If I don't see a person that hasn't, responded for the past 17 years that I've been on Facebook, and then when I come to Africa, want to have their hands out, I'm gonna look at them funny, because I'm only going to help our members. Those are the people that want more out of life. Everybody's not going to want to be a part of this organization, and I respect that. But I'm only responsible for our members. So that's just how it is. Alright, with that being said, I'm going to open up the phone lines, and I'm going to wait around for 15 minutes. If I don't have any calls, then, I just call it a day. But I am making myself known. I do let people know ahead of time. I usually post the topics, usually on Mondays. So people have plenty of time to know, about this show. And again, if you're not able to participate on the show, no worries. You can always leave a comment. I want you to watch my video podcast first, and leave a comment, and then share it with your friends. It's just that simple. That will help get the ball rolling. With that being said, the phone lines are now open.